welcome to Hello, the Crit the Bed story so far episode. Just to catch you up on the first 10 levels of the characters that you know so far on the Crit the Bed show.
I think we should start from the very, very beginning then, where we decided to kick this all off.
So you started in Blackmire, a fine village.
We started in your flat, your table, a little bit drunk, playing a different campaign for over a year.
True.
Wouldn't it be fun if, we filmed this?
Can you imagine if we actually got to a point where people wanted to watch us play?
And we still haven't got to that point.
Yeah, one day maybe we will.
I know. Didn't we pretty quickly then just go, I want to be this character? And we started doing it from there.
Yeah.
I remember the reason that we've all got such random characters is that Tim just let us go literally wild. Like, he just gave us every single piece of information and was like, you're responsible for your own mess. And that's why I'm a frog, Cleo's a lizard.
Yeah.
I was actually going to be like a centaur, and then I found out about the furbolgs.
Yeah, I'm glad you're not a centaur.
Me too. I love Parker.
I don't know, it fits in with your whole horse kicking down door ethos that you've had throughout both campaigns.
I think a centaur would be too macho. I couldn't.
Well, you could have been like a Shetland pony centaur.
Oh my god. Next campaign.
Oh my god. Like a half dwarf, half Shetland pony.
Yeah.
You think you're really
Well, halfling, half.
and your family are all regal and royal, and then you're just a little Shetland pony.
Like that.
Without doing our typical thing, going off track too much, can I just check, if I ever did a change into a creature, could it ever go wrong where I get half stuck as a creature? I'm just thinking for the other campaign, as Paolo, he could become.
I mean, technically, there's nothing in the rules that are you can't go Brundlefly with a spell, but there might be stuff that I can throw in that might affect people's spells or deflect them, or you might be in a weird anti-magic zone that only half of you changes.
It would be hugely on brand. We always have the best intentions.
But would the pony have 3 legs or
Yeah.
2?
So we started off in Blackmire, which was a fine village. I remember that description. Pip, I know, was rowing a boat on the swamp and delivering messages. That's what she started off as doing. And I was already friends with Parter.
Yep, and Parter was in his little cottage just right in the swamp, growing weeds and throwing mud at kids because they were causing havoc in his garden. I think that was the first insight that he's a little unhinged in the sweetest of ways.
The first of many.
Yes.
What was Chad doing?
Chad worked in a bibliotech with Akaran, an old man who had lots of scrolls and books that Chad picked up, and that's pretty much how he spent his whole day.
And Akron is probably dead now because
No, he's definitely still alive. He just might have drank a lot of ink.
set himself.
But he was doing that before Chad turned up anyway.
Yeah,
So.
he might have set himself on fire too.
And then Mike?
Mike had a job that she was so good at that she was working as a waitress in a cocktail bar when she met you. She's been on a break. I think that she by now has been fired, which we all know, but she refuses to believe that and is still on a work break.
Rumour had it you are still on that break.
Yeah.
And you were their best employee.
Yeah, I won a award.
We led such quaint lives before a crash landed into what was it? Lumbergast? Outside of Lumbergast?
I think it was somewhere between you and Lumbergast because
Yeah,
it was like a race to get all of the money.
I also still don't know whether our characters fully comprehend that Aya came from that egg. I think part of us just thinks she was also there at the same time.
Just got hit on the head by a meteor and I don't remember anything.
Yeah, we never really discussed that.
We've never spoken about it, or the fact that, oh, this one over here doesn't have a memory. We've never discussed it, or even oh,
We've just accepted you for your flaws and moved on.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful story of friendship and ignorance.
We're
Yeah.
friendly boys.
We weren't friendly boys at that point, though.
We weren't.
So you just acquaintances, the friendly acquaintances.
Yeah.
The only thing is, we at that point we also hadn't decided whether Chad was wearing shorts or not.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I went into the library, I just closed my eyes and gave him the letter and ran.
It is weird how much we've talked about my pants or lack
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you could have shut that down straight away. You just chose not to.
I thought it would go somewhere else, but it just went to pants.
Talked about your pants a lot, but then only this week found out that you've got a mohawk fin.
Yeah.
After however many episodes.
Yeah, I still haven't wrapped my head around that one yet. So once we teamed up as the friendly acquaintances.
So it was the meteor went overhead, wasn't it? And there was a crash landing, and then Maya called everybody.
Mm-hmm. So you went and got the stuff, laid down, found me, hit me in the head with a rock aggressively, which should have been a clue for everyone how aggressive you're going to be first to come in. And then that's when we met the lumber quest. That's when we started that subquest.
People or location. That's what we still.
Didn't Chad die or was close to death?
Yeah.
That's why we've got such a vengeance.
Yeah, we've gone 5 minutes. We've gotten to the end of the second episode, I think, when I almost died.
Yeah, that was at the top. So because we went down, we also decided that that's where Starbucks was named Starbucks. Like we suddenly decided that the shard of the meteor.
Yeah, money from the sky.
Yeah.
We did get some. We took it back, and you, like, I followed you home because I had no idea what you wanted to know, and I wanted to ask your mayor because I obviously wanted information as to what the hell I was, and you tricked me into thinking the librarian was the mayor of the town.
Yeah,
Probably
and he was a kickball champion, and that's what started our kickball team, the Blackmire Bastards.
And the rest is history.
As you all know, famous.
That's where we wrap up, and you can watch the other episodes. What happens after that?
That should have been a happily ever after, but then we heard the screams from the bakery, and then we found a murder mystery, which we never saw for the episode.
Yeah.
From murderer to murderer.
Found or did a murder?
Both.
Yeah. It still took me a while to realise that was Tim throwing us into the story about actually what we're meant to be doing as our main.
Oh yeah, we forgot about it after that. But then instead of trying to investigate the murder, we implicated ourselves as murderers and got banished from your hometown where you lived your whole life.
We've still not gone back.
Well, so we went into the bakery. So we got back with the Starbucks, presented it all. La-da-da, got paid a shit ton of money, which we've still not spent, which is great. Kept some of the Starbucks. Introduced you. Went to the bakery. Somebody had been killed by a stiletto.
Mm-hmm. You killed
husband.
someone.
Well, I didn't get there quite yet. So I whispered you told me to whisper into the woman's ear, who was cradling her husband and I was cradling her, that I was going to come for her.
Mm-hmm.
And she took that as me going to murder her. She screamed. Other people came in. And then there was this irritating, snotty woman who...
I hate her.
Yeah. Tim, could you do the impression?
I probably can't at this point because I can't exactly remember her name. It's been a long time since
We'll come back to that. But yeah, she was just rude and nasty, and she belittled Parter, and he didn't take kindly to it and pointed to her and sprayed some accidentally poison spray and killed her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that was also the birth of Grease.
Yeah, that's the first.
I think it was the first time that Chad used grease on the outside of the bakery.
Yeah.
Not used.
It was the first time we all got caught in it as well.
And
Miss
the
Grease.
last.
Can you tell us how you cast Grease again?
How to cast it?
Yeah.
Grease, it's hard to beat. Cast it now, what a treat. Slip and slide, go for a ride. Whoever falls, remember I tried.
And incarnate ensues.
Well, yeah, that inevitably got us at the mayor's office begging for him to believe us. And the deal was that we would let everything cool off, go and sell our Starbucks in the next town over, and then bring back the money to help them restore the town.
Yep.
Oh, that was it. We didn't sell forgot that we didn't sell the Starbucks there.
We also didn't help restore the town.
Not yet.
We
It's
will.
only been like a week in campaign.
Oh no, it's been a lot longer than that. at this point.
That's when we went to the tree village where we met
Killed.
Keld, yeah.
Yep. Went to Keld.
Is my favourite NPC that we've ever met. We learned his name, we kept him alive, and we helped fulfill a quest for him.
Yeah.
Just
You
want
gave
to
us-
remind everyone that we are capable of doing
Yeah.
We gave him 5 dogs to look after him as well.
Correct.
Yeah, we left him with friends. We left him with more than he had before, and
Yeah.
that is all that we really need to do.
We actually enriched his life.
Who would not want to be surrounded by pooch pals to guard you and protect
Mhm.
you and lick your face? Like,
So the story of the Pooch Pals is that we were in a bar, and one of them started fighting Josh. Josh had a chihuahua with a knife up against his throat.
I wasn't trying to fight him. He was
We
a
learned
tiny dog.
Human.
You just try to pet him.
Yeah.
That was a problem.
Trying to be friendly.
We learned that they're humans who got polymorphed to turn into dogs, and we are now, one of our side quests that we will finish one day is that we have to learn true polymorph to go back to the dogs to save them.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
totally
just
forgot that.
crazy.
And they helped us in saving our little friend Natna when he got kidnapped. So they saved Natna's life, and that's great because he's safe. And that's all that matters really in a world ever. But he also got his Starbucks stolen by I want to say 7 people
Scuttleship
from
7?
Battleship 7.
Yep.
Scuttleship 7, was it?
That's it, yeah. And I'm right in thinking, so we sold the Starbucks to him, so we got all the money, and we've still got that money from Natna, even though those Starbucks then got nicked.
Yeah, and he gave us objects there, I think.
Napna enhance all of our objects. So I have a magic diadem that I use. Something of what's the spell called?
Oh, it's is it Firebolt?
Firebolt. Diadem of blasting.
Yeah.
I
my
got
veil lights up.
enchanted, and I can make frogs dance with it. Pip.
It's really handy.
Isn't this around about the same time that Chad met one of the loves of his life?
The orc bartender who we haven't seen her for a while, but I'm bringing back something for her. I just don't know what. It has to be something grand and dramatic and presumably barbaric.
I feel like
I
we
think
got
you could
trained up.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Keld was one of those places that we were in, and like across God knows how many episodes, we did a load of stuff in and around it. So obviously we met Napna. I know we went up to the
Yeah.
Mushroom Tavern. That's where there was another murder, and I also
Yeah, well,
lost it and made it rain inside again.
yeah, and then the murder that happened first, and then the murder came later because we, a side note, went to a little village, killed them with mushrooms, might have murdered a family, came back, found a murder, happens to be the same murder as the bakery. Second, serial killer, but still didn't solve it. Just like, yeah, sure, there's another murder, move on.
There was also, I think I came across like a wolf person, questionable, that was savaged, still in that room somewhere.
Presumably.
I put him in my bed.
Where did we go from Keld? I remember that we ignored a man.
Well,
and that's a very important part of our plot. We walked, we ignored him, we didn't talk to him, we hated him.
We went back to Blackmire after a detour via the mushroom place. Us and the Pooch Pals went to investigate a missing elf. Ended up in a grung infested, sunken church, and then brought her back to her husband, who didn't.
Where we met the sex god.
that was where we found the sex god, and that's where we had those 3 holes that we had to slip and slide down.
Not saying it like that.
Hashtag not my sex god.
Yeah.
Where did we go from the church?
Then
Well,
we
the church
went
went back to
church
Keld.
the ladies. We dropped her off, and then we went to Blackmire, and I tried to make her apologize to the woman.
But where in all this at Keld we go and meet the French mayor, because then something else was kicking off in the city, and we met the French mayor, who we then discovered knew Chad, because Chad clearly gets around.
Dangerous.
And then she sent us on a mission because everybody was up in arms about this dragonborn called Dangerous.
Well, yeah.
Who we
Where
then
did it-
obliterated.
have we completely skipped out the part about going to the college and
That was after that.
That's later.
Yeah. You also then met Count Rarian on the old Swan and Joanna piano. Yes.
Still don't know what stories he told us were true or not, because every third story he would tell was a lie, and we didn't clock on until maybe 4 episodes later, where everything we were saying we realised just wasn't true.
I'm still absolutely confused by all of that. I'm still convinced we're going to have a multicoloured ship somewhere that's going to turn up with robots.
And they have a rotation of the people that are on the council, and Mike didn't care. Mike was in love with him because of the piano.
And because he let us sing in the little fancy dress.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time at Keld.
We did.
Retrospectively too much, yeah.
Achieve anything.
So that,
I think you spent about 8 or 9 episodes there. It felt a lot.
That's good.
We went to the coast, it was very Blackmire, where we stole a load of gnomes, but ultimately didn't accomplish anything. Then we went to the coast.
And that's where shit hit the fan, and we are where we are because of all of this. So we got to the coast. In real life, I know that we couldn't all be in the same room at that point, and that's where things went wrong, because we needed Ellie to help guide us, and she wasn't in the room with us, and we went onto a ship.
No.
I genuinely blame Kate and Bertie, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have even. And I also blame Tim here for this as well. We went to go rescue them, but we never intended to get on the boat and for it to sail away.
So hold on.
Well, the boat was sailing away when you caught up to
We
it.
also missed a bit.
We skipped the whole.
Yes.
We missed a lot. We missed
Oh,
even
whole
before we got
university
before we even got to the college, we went back to Lumbergast to get our revenge.
Yep. That's where you fought the hydroconic.
Yeah, with Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny.
With Bear and Brawlamble.
And his child.
Colonel Chip.
Colonel Chip. Oh,
Colonel Chip sacrificed. R.I.P.
And then we went to the university and tried to track down the letter that Pip had at the very beginning to Lady Elsbeth. Because we believed that she might have been at the university, or at least someone there might know her whereabouts, because her letter mentioned a second capitalism, which you probably should have said at the start is quite worrying to everyone.
Yeah, the whole thing that we're trying to achieve here is to stop the end of the world. We should have.
Which is a countdown.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned a countdown on your arm, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't mention it because we never think about it.
But it's back in the mind all the time.
So at the university, we discovered this kind of undercover scheme with the people in the research facility. They were doing. We never really figured out what they were doing, but we know it was dodgy. And then we realized that one of the tutors had been killed, and then I was responsible for one of the other tutors being killed. And then now the dean is onto us, or the dean isn't part of it. I can't quite remember what happened.
I think the dean's onto us. Yeah, because wasn't it somebody got somebody could track where this missing person was?
Well, we asked for help from the divination?
Diviner, yeah.
Yeah, and she was very helpful, very nice to us, and said that she would help us. And she had a sky assistant, and who we kind of ignored. And then, as it turned out, because Pip had a secret meeting with her when we all got, side note, kidnapped by pirates. And Pip uncovered a whole conspiracy, and it ended up that she's either dead or on the run. I don't remember. I don't know if you've actually told us. But then you uncovered that the Sky Assistant was actually an evil supervillain.
Yeah. And
because this bit was running parallel to us doing whatever we were doing.
Just nonsense on a boat somewhere.
I remember that I finally met Madame Elsbeth, right?
Yes.
Yes.
But I can't really remember what she gave me or what she told me. So that's not really relevant.
Good.
So whilst that was going on, we met up with our little friends that came and guested for a little bit, who were pirates in their own little tavern.
Yep.
And had stolen something that was quite valuable to the Sea Queen. Sea Queen? Yeah.
Yeah, Regina Hartigan.
Who had a hit person that was out to try and find and reclaim this item.
Which side note was the murderer from the 2 previous murder mysteries?
And this is where all links in. All the people that were murdered by the stiletto was this claw person's murderers, and
Tiefling called Relentless.
they all had the ship
tattoo,
which that's where suddenly we were clicking, putting things together.
Mhm.
Shit hit the fan. We ended up chasing them onto a boat.
Yeah, and then
onto their boat.
But before that, you had your first game of kickball against the Southern Shore Sharks.
Yes, that's a really important.
The biggest plot point of this entire series is kickball. We are the reigning champions, despite what you hear on the streets. The way that you play kickball is you play kickball normally, but then you also like rap battle. Our way out of it.
True.
And I remember the only reason that we were so good is that Khalil/Chad's rhymes are superior to everyone else's.
That was still one of my favorite episodes, and I hope that we get to go back and play more kickball at some point. Once we
kickball is not just a Southern Shore sport; it's an international sport.
We absolutely need to seek it out.
Champions.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie, we're pretty good at any sport that we put our heads to. Like, we won a race as well. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kickball episode was ridiculous.
Cut to, we get transported by, remember, Starbucks. Starbucks come back to bite us. Starbucks that got stolen with us were installed in a boat for some reason and transport us to like the middle of seemingly nowhere. And we get imprisoned in. We have to fight a crab.
Giant crab.
Mm-hmm.
Annie then turned into giant crab.
Some crab on crab action.
Crab on crab action. I flew Chad for a little bit. Pip was off having a proper mission, doing proper mission. I want to specify
that I wasn't here for any of this, and that's why I blame. This is why it went so wrong. I just wasn't there to keep everyone in check.
And then
found out like Tim has the most amazing knowledge of like crab anatomy.
Yeah.
But then after that, we woke up in the House of Sin's basement prison with DJ Inky.
And then there was some random pirate in there.
Gentle car.
Yeah.
Gentle car.
We freed him. We got into a little bit of a scrap with the people that lived there, but then we realised that actually they're quite cool, and they gave us a goat gun.
We were stealing it originally, though, weren't we?
Give us a goat gun.
I feel like Khalil needs to explain Chad's actions in this because it was kind of stemmed from him getting a bit obsessed.
I don't fully remember. I remember that we broke out the octopus DJ Inky. We did kind of make friends with them, and then we discovered their armory that had a goat gun or a goat killing gun. I never really got to shoot it, and so we stole that, and that's when we ran into, I think, the bigger threat that we've sort of been building towards. Is that right?
Yeah.
Where Deep Chest and her people.
Yes. Yeah, Deep Chest was from the House of Sin, and then we offered to help them and quickly realised that we weren't capable of doing anything really helpful.
Up to this point in the story, how many of your animals have we killed? Or you killed?
At this point, you're up to...
we're up to the spider.
Yeah, up to the spider.
I don't think, this recap, I don't know if we've established that we're not just killing random animals. These are your smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Around the point where we went to the swamp, I had a crocodile who lived for quite a while called Costas.
Yeah.
And then as things progressed, we ended up in a fight with some succubi who possessed me to murder my own crocodile. And since that point,
vampire twins.
Yeah, the incestuous vampire twins that Annie was
not twins or vampires, but
that was around when we were at the college, right?
That was just before we got kidnapped by pirates. But since then I've been cursed and every animal has lived like about a day. So
terrible pet mother.
Terrible pet mother. Well, at some point in that dungeon that must have died then, because or maybe it died on the battlefield in the House of Sin.
He didn't last that long.
No.
No.
Moksha, I think, made it to
because then 45? It was the bird that like had to drag itself from across the snow, like wheezing.
Yeah.
Didn't at some point the bird like laid itself over a gap and we walked over it or something?
So we made friends with Deep Chest, got out after getting the goat gun, they were telling us about like this force field that was keeping dead in.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Out.
Out. No, it was in, wasn't it? I thought.
It's keeping it inside the crater and out from the rest of the world. But either or.
And then they were like, we only send a few like people down there just to make sure that they're not getting through. And we were like, fuck it, let's all go. And
they got through.
And we went through. They came through. We got through. We went into the force field, panicked, realised that we were outnumbered, and that this all-powerful wizard,
like an army of zombies, right?
With an army zombie was scary, and we panicked and we jumped into Khalil's little pad, Chad's pad.
That was really scary because the bad man, he was really creepy and eerie, and just the way he.
Yeah.
I think I almost died, and I think you like helped pull me back into Chad's pad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Chad's pad was the only thing that saved us.
Yeah. But then he went off, didn't he? Like the bad guy, then went and literally just slaughtered.
He killed everyone. Yeah, and then
on the march, and so we hopped in Chad's pad, turned it into a hot tub, and flew across the icy tundra.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we went skiing with yays, which in the grand scheme of things feels irrelevant, but
yeah,
then we found a village. I mean, did we go to the cave with the axe first, or the village with the dead birds first?
No, before that there was the Goblin Games.
Yeah.
So that was first.
Again, another side quest. We took part in these like ice goblin games. We built a car. It was really good. We won.
Still have the car.
You die.
Yeah.
That's when we helped DJ and Key. DJ and Key now lives with. Again, I'm going to say this, but it means nothing if you are genuinely watching this. Jim Jam Jan's skeleton corpse at the bottom of an ice lake.
Yeah.
Ignore that. It's not.
They're happy together.
And then we took the car to
the bird.
There was a bird thing. They were like,
oh yeah. So at the games, the dying bird was like, "Can you stop? Can you help my dying child?" We do. Fine. And then on the way, that's when we picked up the axe.
Correct.
I feel like again, Chad, you should explain this axe situation.
Well, we met a goblin king who seemed like a little bit of a weird little weasel man, and we kind of fought them. I think, and I somehow found myself down in the pits of a labyrinth.
We forgot about the sun, or we found him dead outside a house, and we encountered a house full of vegan vampires.
Yes.
Yes. They were nice. They were relatively kind. One of them knitted me a sleeping bag.
They're lovely.
They sent us on a quest with Arad, one of their vampire companions, to a labyrinth, which I don't know why we went there or what we achieved there. Maybe someone else did.
I think we were trying to find the people that were like us, that were saying that we were going to help everyone, but they actually made it worse.
Yeah.
But we killed them so fast they couldn't explain the situation to us. We learned nothing, and we ended up in a labyrinth.
You say we killed them. The axe kind of just went haywire.
Literally. Oh no, that's because we did go to get them help, but also my sex god needed to punish their leader who had bad mouthed.
Yeah.
So again, we killed them all.
Yeah.
They're dead. In the process, Chad chopped off his own arm and shoved an axe in it.
Sweet.
Speaks to do really dumb things all the time.
And has loads of weird caveats, right?
Yeah.
The axe is sentient and talks, Chad.
It's very powerful, but with power, it also there is a curse to it as well.
Makes them smelly.
With power comes great smell.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we found a chamber full of old gods. We went back to the vampire house and they were all dead.
The skin was going for everybody, wrapping around stuff.
That's when you got possessed, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So I reincarnated the countess and into a little man, as you do, and then I disappeared out of the room and came across some ghosty thing, and then became possessed. Got my ghost in my head.
Yep, and that's when we basically got in the car, headed to the house with the Countess, and killed Aaron along the way.
Yeah.
That's
And
why
that's-
you joined us.
Yes. So, in brief, that's the very condensed 65 episodes down into 30 minutes of the story so far. There's many other little bits and pieces here and there, but that's the main gist of it.
One of the things I'm most excited for is everyone commenting, telling us all the important plot points that we forgot about in this. So please do that.
And all of the items,
Remind us.
and all the items that we picked up on the way that we've completely forgot about. That's
Yeah,
like
that all have their own
enchanted or
little
special.
backstory.
Yeah.
Well, that condensed version of stuff that's happened is I'd say a third of it I can remember. The rest of it I was like, I'm learning so much.
That's the thing. If you really want a recap, just read the comments on this video. I'm sure they've done a bad job.
But new channel, new us, so we're going to be better.
Yeah, let's not set ourselves up for
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for that. Thanks everyone for attending the recap, and thanks everyone out there for watching. I hope that's shed some light into the viewers. Couldn't bet you. If not,